Hello everyone. I'm doing this video in response to comments left to me uh, by a guy by the name of Barman, asking how I do an Elvis pompadour with shorter hair. So I've recently had my hair cut and I had a lot of length taken off. I had a lot of unnecessary length on my hair, so I've had a lot taken off now, and it's definitely improved my hair. So now my hair comes down to the midpoint of my nose. So first off, let's talk about equipment. You're going to need, obviously, a comb. I'm using this wide to fine teeth combination comb. A very cheap comb. I find more often than not, the cheapest combs are often the best for doing certain styles because they're not as grippy. I find if a comb is too grippy, then you can't really do the swirl motion very well, because I find you can't bring it forward then because it's gripping into your hair, and because it's gripping it makes your hair flop like that basically. So you're going to need a good comb. Pomade is a must, obviously. For this I'm going to be using Royal Crown hairdressing and Lucky Tiger Crew Butch to keep it authentic, because obviously these two pomades are two hair products rather than not pomades. What Elvis has used, rumoured to have used. So we'll use them, and a handheld mirror can be useful. And the reason for this, I can see the back of my head like that, see, when I'm doing it in my tablet there, or obviously if you're doing it in the mirror there. So first off, wash your hair, towel dry it, and then we're gonna comb it into shape while it's damp and let it dry. So you're gonna find your parting. You can use the wide teeth like this. Obviously I've seen a lot of people using rat tail combs. That's just as good. I've never been one who's been able to use rat tail combs really. I find them too difficult to get the part in. So get your part in like that. For the combed over section here, just going to comb it at an angle to the back of your head, like that. Then you're going to do the swirling motion, so you're going towards your parting and back. Towards and back, just like that. This side, I usually do the same, but make it more straight in comparison to this bit that's meant to be wavy. So that, as you can see, is a lot more straight. On the sides, you're going to want to do a semicircular motion, and this is, I'm going off a pompadour that Elvis did when he visited Lansky's. There's a couple of pictures of him in the mirror with his head turned like that. You can see the unparted side, and he's there with Bernard Lansky, and you can see like a semicircular shape to it where he's combing the hair up and round like that instead of just going straight back, or as some people do it at an angle down. So that's something that I just wanted to explain so you know what pompadour I'm going off. Now for my DA, you're going to comb all the hair straight down, just like that, so it's flat, and then just comb your wings in. So that they meet in the middle, and then you're going to put your comb straight down the middle of these. Sorry, that's really sloppy, let's do it again. And when you comb in a DA, it shouldn't be going straight across like that. It should be going at a slight angle downward just so you know. So like that, just straight down, just like that. So now on to the next step. So my hair is dry now, okay, so it's still a little bit damp, but I'm just gonna go for the purpose of the video. Now, in terms of the application of the pomade, let me just tilt the camera down. You're gonna want to use a heavier product on the unparted side, and the reason for this was it was rumoured that Elvis used Lucky Tiger on the unparted side, and if you've noticed from pictures, it seems the side that is parted, this always seems to flop down first when he's performing, whereas this side seems to stay up for longer. And the reason being for that is he uses a heavier product on here. It's likely Lucky Tiger. There's a couple of sources that mention he used it. And then on the parted side, it's likely he used something like Royal Crown hair dressing or Vaseline hair tonic. It's completely confirmed that he used Vaseline hair tonic because there's a couple of photographs with the bottle behind him in the old style packaging. So first off, you're going to want to take a heavier product. It doesn't have to be Lucky Tiger. It could be something like Murray's, but just for example. So you're going to want to take a good amount, but not too much. I've got 2 fingers full here. So just rub it into your hand a bit. And now in terms of application to the side, just want to run your hand over. Forget this part here, just focus on the top half. So I'm just putting it like this, and then once you've done that, just bring your hair forward like this and just coat the underside, so the bit that would be behind, just like that. And the same here. Be careful not to do the whole of your fringe, because obviously you're going to want one part that's a bit lighter. So that should just about do it. I sometimes use the Lucky Tiger on my DA as well, because I find if using Vaseline hair tonic and things like that, your DA won't stay in very well, especially if you've recently had it cut, because I find barbers often cut your hair quite short in the back, so it can be a little bit difficult to make the two folds meet for long periods of time. So now I'm going to use the Royal Crown, and I'm going to want to take a decent scoop of it, and this is basically going to be used on the rest of your hair. So make sure you avoid the side you just put Lucky Tiger on. Just do your bangs, make sure they're coated, and I'm doing the lower half of my hair here, and then just do the whole parted side, just like that. I usually take about 2-3 scoops of this, because obviously it's very light if you've ever used it, and then use it on the back as well. Should coat it well. Right, that should just about do it for the actual application of the product. So now I'm gonna show you how to style it. I'm just gonna take a seat down by here. Right. So what you're going to want to do first is just make sure your parting is obviously still in. You don't want to slick your hair back as though you're distributing the pomade, and the reason for this is if you were to slick the Royal Crown first and then go over to the Lucky Tiger, you'll actually weaken the hold of the Lucky Tiger because it's sort of mixed. So I'm just going to comb the Lucky Tiger first, and then go around It's not too bad if you do it a couple of times, like if I were to comb this quickly and then that. But if you keep doing it, then it's gonna weaken the pomade. So first you're gonna do your swirl. So once again, like when we were drying our hair, we use a circular motion. Just like that. I find royal crown hairdressing is very good for any hairs that might be shorter, like I've got a couple you just saw then, that stick out when I bring it forward, whereas with with royal crown, I find the hair sticks to itself more easily, so you don't get as many flyaways. Excuse me. So before you do the parted side, the unparted side, just make sure the shape of the swirl is right and how you like it. So that should just about do it for me. And what I do before I bring it forward is work on the unparted side, because I find it more difficult. Once you bring it forward, it doesn't blend in as easily. So now we're going to start bringing it forward. So start pulling towards the part, but out and a little bit down. See, I get these flyaways. And you want to make sure that the unparted side is higher than the parted side. If you notice in a lot of Elvis's pomp bills, his unparted side is higher. That's probably due to the extra hold that Lucky Tiger has over Royal Crown or Vaseline Hair Tonic. So he could probably get more height out of it. Now I'm just going to slick the side, once again in circular motion. Want to make sure the top is also neat as well. You want to kind of hide your parting as you're doing this, because in a lot of promotional pictures that Elvis did, you can't see his parting very clearly. A lot of people obviously confuse that then. They think that he hasn't got a parting at all, but it's just more discreet. So just make sure that's right. Just going to bring it a little more forward. Right, that'll do it for the amount of forward I want it. Now I'm going to do the DA in the back. So once again, comb straight down. And then bring your sides in. Well, what you have to watch sometimes, you might bring your combed over part in with it, and you don't want that. So what I tend to do is just lift the hair up and over so far, and then I can just comb it normally. I'm trying to get as close as possible so you can see. Excuse all the bits of my hair. It's I forgot to clean my comb before we started. And like I mentioned, I've got a squared off neck in the back. So you want to make sure that that's square. And even. Right, that should just about do it for the day. So I'll just show you an overview now. As you can see, it's quite forward, considering I haven't got as much hair as I used to. the sides, now you can see that semicircular motion. Just pat that down. The comb over is nice and neat. And then in terms of the unparted side, you can see all that's been kept quite neat. It doesn't matter if you can see the comb over. I used to be really annoyed when I used to see the comb over section, because this side used to be longer and I used to try and cover it. But what I've noticed in a couple of pictures, obviously throughout the day, that's going to start slipping down anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I've seen a lot of pictures of Elvis from this side, and it seems to be like slipping down like throughout the day. So that's pretty much how it's going to be. Just can't stress over it. As you can see, the roller crown's really shiny, which for this Elvis pomp, that's exactly what you want. It's got real good shine in the light. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope it was a help to you, barman, and to anyone else who wanted to see it with short hair. And I'll see you in the next video now, guys. Thank you.